Everybody? Welcome to another show, NBA show from SBR. Make sure you guys go to sbrpicks.com/slash NBA. Check out our articles, NBA content we have over there. I'm your host, Jay Money. That's my guy, Jordan Sharp. It's my guy, Junior Browne, man. We're here to break down these NBA games. It's Wednesday slate. Let's get to it, man. First, I'm going to recap yesterday, though. I take a loss yesterday with the Clippers. The boys got smacked up. My Mavs got the job done, though. But let's see. You know what I'm saying? The boys just ain't they don't have it. Junior, what you think about that game, my guy?
What do I think about that game? I could do a whole show on what I think about that game. The Clippers disgust me. I kind of said that yesterday. I rode with you on that, at least on the first half play. I went 2-1 yesterday. Hit the Brooklyn first half over pretty easily. I told y'all Brooklyn was not going to come out lollygagging in that first half, and barely hit the Suns Lakers over, but barely still counts because they got to pay me for it. So annoyed about the Clippers, obviously. Like you said yesterday, if they don't cover that first quarter spread, which is what I was worried about, then they just don't have it. And you basically hit it right on the head. They didn't come out with any. But listen, Luka's laughing at these boys, hitting sideways, step back, one-footed fadeaway threes, and just laughing at people. The disrespect is off the charts. Yes, statistically, Paul George and Kawhi were pretty good, especially Kawhi, obviously. But I can't even talk about these guys. Jordan, how is your night, man?
I watched you guys on the show yesterday, and I was glad at the time that we were in agreement that the Clippers' first quarter was a good play, but it ended up just like you guys said. I said it when I think I made I said it to myself when I made the play. I think I was like, if the Clippers don't cash for me here, I'm off the Clippers for the rest of the playoffs, and it doesn't seem like they're going to last for that much longer. So that's good. It's good news for everybody, I guess. But one good shining moment from yesterday was I hit the play from my article on SBR yesterday. Lakers Phoenix first half under. That was one that I was really heavily on yesterday, so it felt good to get that one. And so I was 1-1 on the day, so can't really get too excited because I'm coming off a Monday show where I was 0-2. So not a great last couple of days. We're gonna try to bounce back here Wednesday show here, try to get see what you guys have to say about these games.
Got you. Yeah, Nets, they end up getting the job done 130-108 there. Celtics end up covering the second half, though, barely, though. So some guys hopped on that one. They ended up cashing. Lakers get the job done over the Suns. They almost lost their game. They lost the lead late there in the fourth quarter, but then LeBron and AD, you know what I'm saying, they put their foot on the gas late in that game. Suns probably should have, they had the chance to go up 2-0 there. The Lakers end up stealing 109-102, and then obviously, like I say, the Mavs get it done, man. They up 2-0, 127, 121 over the Clippers, man. I take a trifecta loss. Like Junior said, I told you, hey, it's either they were going to cash the trifecta or it's either they're going to lose the trifecta. You see them come out with a lackluster effort in the first quarter, and that's what happens, man. They end up losing the game outright, my guys. So that's what happens. But, hey, today is another day. Let's get to it, my guys. First game up, we got the Wizards versus the 76ers here. Line opened up at 8. It's up to 8.5 now. We see the Sixers win that game 1 by 7. Pretty much straddling that cover line right there, Jordan. What you think about this one, my guy?
This is a tough game. I think the numbers on both the spread and total side are actually pretty sharp. Like you said, we were talking about it before the show. The Philly just doesn't really blow anybody out. They seem to hang around right around that 8 to 10 point margin, and they're either going to cover it in the last few minutes or they're gonna lose and get backdoored. So I mean, it's not really a game on the spread side of things that I would get too invested in betting. I do think this. Philly does need to come out with a little bit of effort here at the beginning of the game. If they get Washington playing from behind, I think they could pretty easily cruise in this one. And so if I did have a play on this one, I'd probably go on the under, because the only way they do that, I think, is that they shut down one or more of Bradley Beal or Russell Westbrook and really focus on one of them. Probably going to be Beal, and forcing Westbrook to beat them would be the strategy that I would employ. So I think the under may be a little bit of a better play. But that being said, it's tough to dictate which pace these two teams are going to play, because Philly could very easily play at Washington's pace and still win the game pretty handily. So tough to predict. Kind of a wash series, obviously, I think, for most people's sake. So probably going to lay off of here, but lean under if you can still get that 230, 229.5 area.
Got you. Junior, what you think about that, my guy? What you think about that under? If I mean, I must say, it doesn't seem like a bad play. It's them there, what, 229 and a half, then or 230. We know 76ers have a really good defense. The Wizards, when they want to, I mean, this is a playoff game. In theory, they should ratchet up or whatever the defense. In theory, the Wizards, they do like to run and gun, but they can play some defense with guys like Gafford out there, Junior. What you think about maybe a little under spot here?
Yeah, it's actually an official play of mine. It's just a little sprinkle. I hate this game. I'm going to be honest with you. One of the reasons why I think it goes under is I think the pace is going to be a little bit different. It was the pace of the last game was like over 100. It was like 101 point something. But I think a lot of that had to do with Joel Embiid getting in foul trouble. When Joel Embiid went out, the Sixers kind of changed the way they play, and they were just more up and down trying to get transition baskets, which makes sense for them because without Joel Embiid, their half-court offense is just garbage. Tobias Harris is basically a one-man show once Embiid went out, and I don't know if you really just want to count on that. I think that if Embiid could stay out of foul trouble, which, by the way, between me and you, who the hell does Washington have on their end that Embiid should even get in foul trouble in the first place? So, if he could stay out of foul trouble in this game, which I'm sure he will, because he's just going to probably – you can see how the look on his face – when he got taken out in the first half, like, what the F am I doing? He got taken out, I think, with like 8 minutes or like 7 minutes left in the half. So I just don't think that's the way the game is going to be played. I think it's going to be played at Philly's pace. I think that Washington really is going to regress back to the mean, not in terms of offensively. I just mean overall. Washington had to play like a suit. Basically, Washington was a top 5 team for the last like 20-something games of the season. And that's not who they really are, especially with some of the missing pieces that they have. I just think that, like Jay loves to say, and he's right, these teams are going to regress back to the mean. And I think that the playoffs are where that happens for Washington now that they've taken a step up in competition. I don't even think this series goes past 4 games, to be honest.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if the 76ers want to, they should sweep these boys, man. Tonight, I could see them. I mean, like you say, the first game, Joel Embiid went up by he went out with foul trouble or whatever pretty much during the whole game. So he didn't play his regular minutes. Then Curry went out and didn't come back as well. All this, and you still win by 7. I mean, they were up double digits late in that game. It was just kind of crazy because it just came the way it came. Everything ended. They only ended up winning by 7. But I think this one could get ugly, to be honest with you, if they really come out here. And they were rusty as well. We got to throw that in as well, that the 76ers were rusty in that first game. They hadn't played in a while, which the Wizards been playing. So that was probably the Wizards' best chance to cover some spread. I mean, we know that first home game, they're going to be juiced up for that one as well. So, I mean, that doesn't mean they'll cover the full game, but at least they'll be hyped for it. But this one, it could possibly get out of hand. Philly or nothing for me, but it's not something I'm likely to get involved. But yeah, if I had to free bet on it, if a free bet on the total, I'd likely be on the under. But I would say probably a Philly minus 8. You see it going up to 8.5. That's what I would look towards, my guys. But nothing official for me, my guys. Let's get to a good games. This is basketball. Here's some good basketball. Hawks versus Knicks. Now, I mean, you got to watch this game, man. This is going to be some basketball right here. Knicks looking to bounce back. They're down 0-1 here. They lost the first game. Trae Young, obviously, with a lot of antics during the game, the fourth quarter and after. You know what I'm saying? It was quiet. I mean, he was right, but it's supposed to be there. Like Derrick Rose said, man, this is basketball, man. It's the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So just be to see if they can bounce back. Jordan, what you think in this one?
I keep thinking about how like Trae Young basically did the equivalent of like in baseball where a dude hits a game-winning home run and just like taunts the hell out of a pitcher. Like he's getting thrown at today, right? Like somebody's taking him out on the first drive to the basket, right? Like it's gonna be like Taj Gibson. They're not gonna waste fouls with Nerlens Noel, but as soon as Taj Gibson gets in the game, man, he's gonna give him a hard one. And I guarantee it. I can't wait for that first.
That's funny too. Right?
That's gonna set the tone for the whole rest of the game, right? Like I mean, these two teams already play pretty good defense. You got the Knicks coming off a loss. They're going to want to make a statement early on in this game as well. I'm having a hard time not betting the first half under here because I just feel like these two teams are going to just get into it. The only problem with me, and I think the problem with it, I think at this point is keeping me off of it, is if that happens and the refs are aware, like if that happens early in the game and the refs are now calling the game a little tighter, then there's just going to be a ton of stoppages, ton of free throws, and that might ruin it a little bit. But with the way these two teams play, especially with the Knicks being the slowest home first half pace team, and top 4, top 5 defense in the first half at home in the regular season too, coming off a loss, you got to think their defense is going to be ratcheted up to 100. And the Hawks, I mean, when they play defense, they're pretty hard to beat, to be honest. I mean, this Hawks team is impressive. If Trae Young could continue to play the way they did, and they held the Knicks offense down early in the game too. So heavy lean in the first half under. It's just hard to tell how this game's going to be officiated if indeed they give Trae Young a nice hard one early in the game.
Got you guys. It's a good point by you, man. It's a good point. That's tough. I hope they don't try and injure it, dude, man. I'm trying to take him out.
Not injure it, but put him on the floor.
I know what you said. No, that's real deal 90s basketball type shit. They need to throw. Hey, where Oakley at? Call Oakley ass off in there, Junior. What we doing with this one, man? Talk me out of Knicks first half, my guy.
Bruh. I actually, that's my article on SBR today. Knicks first half official play. I don't want to blindly bet on the Knicks full game because I think the Hawks have shown us enough to say that they're for real. Since they hired Nate McMillan, they're 27-11 in the regular season plus the one win the other day. If you just look at overall, since they hired Nate McMillan, they actually have the second most wins in the league. So they're playing at an elite level for an extended period of time. So they might well be a better team than the Knicks. But Madison Square Garden was a madhouse on Monday. It's going to be even crazier tonight because I think that New York's the type of crowd that they respect. I don't think people in New York have a problem with Trae Young, shutting them up. Because if you've ever been to a game in New York, people are saying, bro, I've been to Madison Square Garden for the NCAA tournament, not even a NBA game. And the shit that people are saying in the crowd to the people on the court is wild, bro. So you know Trae Young was hearing all kinds of craziness. So he has every right to tell them to shut the F up because they were telling him much, much worse. The shit I heard them saying to college kids, I can only imagine what they're saying to NBA kids, NBA players. All right, so let's just start with that. But during the regular season, though, it's kind of interesting. Trae Young is actually not good against the Knicks. He shot 34% from the field and like 21% from three. So that game was not the way he's usually played. Again, a lot's changed since Nate McMillan came in. He's probably made a certain adjustments based on what he saw. Obviously, Lloyd Pierce wasn't doing that. But the biggest reason I'm taking the Knicks, other than the fact that I think the atmosphere is going to be fucking crazy and it's a pretty short number, Julius Randle can't possibly play worse than he played in the first game. If you took away Julius Randle's field goal attempts, the Knicks actually shot 51% from the field without Julius Randle. That's how bad he was. He was like 6 for 24 or some craziness like that. He was just absolutely terrible. He just won NBA's Most Improved Player. He's a dude that has a lot of pride. He's the type of dude that embodies kind of the city of New York. He just brings his hard hat. And he comes to work and he doesn't take any shit. And I think that a dude with that much pride, I believe that Randall's going to come. He's going to show out. RJ Barrett's going to show. I just think the Knicks are going to come out with a real strong first half effort. Doesn't mean I think they're going to win the game. They should win the game. But I think in the first half, I'm literally specifically betting this spot. I think the Knicks come out, show some pride, show that defense that got them to this point. We get the better version of Julius Randle. And they cover this one possession spread in the first half at least.
Yeah, I like it, my guy. I can dig it. I definitely like the Knicks here. It's Knicks nothing for me. I must agree though that the Hawks, I mean, they can match up well with the Knicks. They showed that, but it's like kind of like the Bucks the other day where they won by 2, but they only hit like 5 threes. You know what I'm saying? They had a bad game and still won. Knicks only lost that first game by 2. I mean, it was tied late. They made a run as well. So that's the thing about them. They always gonna make a run. I think the Hawks had got I think they were about maybe 8 points late into that game, maybe 8, almost 10 points, and then the Knicks started chunking back in. Oh no, we back in now, and then they had a chance to win. So the boys not necessarily played a good game and still had a chance to win. I think Knicks first half is the right side, my guys. Let's get to the next one. We got the Grizzlies versus Jazz here, Jordan. Grizz versus Jazz. Grizzlies, put everything together, win that first game, 3 straight games down for them. The boys hot, Jordan. What you think? You riding with your boys tonight?
I would. I think that I don't think I'm going to, simply for the fact that this Utah Jazz team at home is too talented to just say that the outcome from game 1 is going to be similar and or the same in game 2 here. You have Donovan Mitchell coming back. That could hurt the Jazz a little bit early on. could help a lot. I don't know. That's one of the other main factors probably keeping me away from the Grizzlies. I will say this. The steam has hit in the direction of the Jazz for a reason. One, but it has now gotten to the point where now borderline double digits in a playoff game. I don't have any numbers on how many on playoff games that have finished in double-digit spreads, but I can almost guess that it probably favors the team taking points, regardless of them being on the road here. I'll also say one other thing. This is my play for the game. I'll go with that first. I got the first half over 107.5. I missed this on game one, but I hit the full game over. I'm going back to the well for the first half simply because I do think that the Grizzlies are going to be able to dictate pace, and the Jazz have shown when they play fast-paced teams, they have no problem playing up in pace, especially with Donovan Mitchell tonight. I think they're going to have some confidence despite coming off a loss, and I think they're obviously going to be motivated. The Grizzlies defense is good, but there is some exploitable matchups for the Jazz here. And on the flip side, I think there's some exploitable matchups for the Grizzlies, which they've shown in game one. I think the pace slows down a little bit in the second half, but for the first half, these two teams played each other at a lightning pace in the regular season. Played pretty fast in game one, but not super fast, at a pace of about 98 possessions for 48 minutes. If we get a pace over 100 for this first half especially, I do think that's the play. And the one last thing before I kick it over to Junior is there are, though, I would just similarities-wise, take this information as you will, some real eerie similarities to 10 years ago when the Grizzlies upset the Spurs as an 8 seed over the 1 seed. You had back then you had Manu Ginobili missing game one, came back, played the rest of the series, but it didn't matter because the Grizz won on the road in game one. Home team won out the rest of the series. Grizz finished the game in 6. A lot of differences between that older Spurs team and this Jazz team in their prime, basically. But Mike Conley, ironically, was on that team. So if he's in the Utah Jazz locker room telling them anything, it's like, hey, I've been there on the flip side of this. We need to come out and take care of business tonight in the first half. So I think they're going to do that at least offensively in the first half. First half over 107.5.
Got you. Yeah, gonna need some points for them Grizzlies over there, Junior. What you think with this one? Because I think the Jazz, I think they could be raining threes when they start to hit their threes like the Bucks. Boy, shit could get ugly because they play good enough defense and their offense is fluid enough, but they really do rely on the three ball. It's live or die by the three. When they're hitting them, things can get ugly. Junior, what you think here? Who's gonna be the aggressor early on to start this game?
I just like where Jordan's head is at because, as you guys have noticed, I've really been on the totals pretty heavy, cashed both of them yesterday. So I like to hear that he agrees that, or at least you didn't say that this number seems short. But first of all, this first half total opened up at 106.5. Yeah. It's been steamed up to like 107.5, 108, depending on where you shot. And I still think that number seems a little bit short. Listen, in the last game, first of all, something that Jay just said, dude, in the last game, the Grizzlies only attempted 23s. The Jazz attempted 47. Now, the Jazz shot horribly in that game, but like you have to figure if the Jazz even shoot just average, that might blow these boys out the water here. So even though I agree with you, Jordan, I would never lay 9.5 points in a playoff game, even even in the old school days when 1 versus 8 would be like a sweep every time. Some of the games would still be kind of close. Like it's still a fucking playoff. So I have no interest in that. But I'm gonna make first half over 107.5 an official play. I think that both of these teams come out. I think Donovan Mitchell just his presence injects some life into the crowd and life into the lineup. And I think that the Jazz just shoot way better from three. In the first game, both teams combined to go like 8 for 34 from three in the first half. That's why the first half was so low scoring. There's no way that happens again. They're not going to shoot 20% from three in the first half again. So if they're just average, that I think that sails way over the total. So I'm going to make it official over first half.
Gotcha. I think the Jazz might put up 70 points on their ass in the first half, my guys. I think it's gonna be a Smack City spot. I didn't take in full game, but it's just my angles I'm taking. I will take it every time. It's gonna cash at a high rate. Jazz first quarter, first half for me. This time not necessarily laying a premium like I was yesterday, but this one should be at 5 or 5.5 with the full game being at 9.5. I mean, this line it was at 8.5, guys. So if you wanted to take Jazz, it was at 8.5. I think it opened at 8 and then it was up. It was at 8.5, and sat there even with the Donovan Mitchell news. Then up to 9.5 today. So I mean, you're kind of late. It's not that you're late to the party, but like the first quarter wasn't juiced at first. It was -3, just regular. Then first half was -5. It's up to 5.5 now. I still like it. I think Jazz come out here with some juice. They are the number 1 seed for a reason. I know they kind of tapered off. They're not necessarily as strong as they were smacking all these teams was in the regular season. This isn't a regular season, but the Grizzlies, and this being their 4th straight road game as well. Like I say, the Grizzlies can match up well with them, but I really think you see it in that first quarter, even with them expected to have Mitchell out there, the Jazz were still up 29-17 with them having a bad game. The Grizzlies couldn't score for like 4 minutes, like the last 2 minutes of the first quarter and the first 2 minutes of the second quarter. So I think the Jazz bring more defense today. They already showed they could cover the first quarter, damn near first half in a bad game. They with a game plan not expect to have Mitchell out there. He's back today. It's juice up time. You're down 0-1 at the house. Like I say, man, I think the different mental makeup than them bums yesterday. I like the Jazz here early, and I could see it being a Smack City spot full game as well. To be honest with you, the defense will be there. I don't see Grizzlies getting to their team total. I think this will be an ugly type game, man. Give me Jazz first quarter, first half. Smack City first half for me, my guys. Jordan, break them off with your officials.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about now that you said that, like looking at the Utah team total in the first half as well, but I won't make that one official. I'll keep it to the first half, over 107.5 in that game. Real heavy lean on the first half, under at 108 in Atlanta, New York, but I haven't gotten there yet on that one.
Got you. I can dig it. Junior, what you thinking here, my guy? What you like? What's them totals?
Yeah, under Philly, Washington, Knicks first half. And I'm taking the over in the first half, Utah Grizzlies.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to put some on Knicks first because I like Knicks. I gotta get on them in some type of way. It's either full game first half. One of them, I think they come out juiced out early as well. I just that crowd and pissed off at trade. I think that first half is the play, Junior. I gotta put something on that. But yeah, I do have cheddar on just one unit on Jazz first quarter -3, Jazz first half -5. That's what I got, man. I'm trying to cash both of them. Still like the first half as well, -5.5. I think they're gonna be up by double digits. Smack City spot up by 20 at the half, my guys. Smack City for the Jazz. Grizz gonna revert back to maybe get ready, go back to the house and try to win one, man. They got, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Jazz for me, they're putting the Grizzly Bears to sleep early in this one with some nice soft jazz music, my guys. We appreciate everybody for watching. That's my guy Junior Browne. It's my guy Jordan Sharp, your host Jay Money, man. We're just trying to cash some tickets, stack up some wins. We will be back tomorrow. I'll holler at you, boy.